My dear brothers and sisters, we are gathered together to formally start our 9-day Novena Masses in honor of Santo Niño, Senior Santo Niño, as our secondary patron here in our parish, Our Lady of Fatima. In fact, we know that supposedly this year is actually anticipated with great excitement because this year 2021 is a great celebration of the 500 years of Christianity in the Philippines, in the Philippine archipelago. We know that this is very historical. This is very meaningful because we commemorate a very important feasts and celebrations in our life as Filipino Catholics. And in our theme of this 9-day Novena Masses is centered on the abiding presence of the Father in our journey of faith through Santo Niño. We have heard in our first reading today about the testimony, the words of John, when he speaks about the testimony of God. Now, if we accept human testimony, the testimony of God is surely greater. Now, the testimony of God is this, that He has testified on behalf of His Son. Truly enough, we have celebrated Christmas and focusing on the mystery of the Incarnation, of Jesus becoming man like us. That Jesus, on His birth, He embraced our humanity. And Jesus, on His birth, has given us the face of God. We are able to have an idea, an image of who God is. And through Jesus, we have felt the very presence of God in our life. And truly enough, Santo Niño is the abiding presence of the Father in our life. On this very first day of our novena, in honor of Senior Santo Niño, the celebrations are focused actually in 3 pillars. And these are celebration, formation, and legacy. Why do we celebrate? And what do we celebrate? What do we get from our celebration? And most especially, what do we pass? What do we pass as our legacy to the younger and next generations? It is a question of what do we celebrate? And why do we celebrate? We celebrate because we commemorate the first baptism in which faith is planted in the hearts of Filipinos. We know that baptism is a sacrament in which God has ascribed to us His kindness, His goodness, in which we participate in the goodness and kindness of God. It is inscribed in the heart of men. Not only the faith that we receive, but especially the life of faith that we have to live. Kaya nga po, nagdiriwang ang kapuluan. The entire nation is celebrating this 500 years of Christianity because we were baptized, we were introduced, and we have received the gift of faith. And what do we celebrate and why do we celebrate? Because this is what has made us. This is what has made us as Filipino Catholics. And what do we get from the celebration? It is all about formation. We are celebrating because we know that the more we celebrate, the more we become. And that we become configured in the image of Christ. And this is the reason of our celebrations, our devotions. That in our celebration and devotion, we become what we celebrate and we believe. We become what we think. We become what we live, and we live because we believe. Ito pong saysay ng ating pananampalataya. Ito po ang saysay ng ating pagdedebosyon. Naway maging kawangis tayo ng batang si Jesus. At isabuhay po natin ang ating pananampalataya at paniniwala sa Kanya. Every time we look at the image of Santo Niño, I think we cannot but it melts our hearts. It gives us a very message that as we look at Him, the child Jesus, He's trying also to talk to us and telling to us, can we be like Him also? And can we live like Him? In which, my dear brothers and sisters, that is why one of the pillars of the celebration is formation. Na hindi po natin kakalimutan na sana binabago po tayo na ating pagdiriwang. Because truly enough, in our first reading, liar is the person who says he loved God, but he cannot even love his neighbor and fellow men. In fact, yesterday's reading was in fact a very beautiful reading when it says to us, it was God who first loved us. Because we love God because He first loved us. If anyone says, I love God, but hates his brother, he is a liar. For whoever does not love a brother whom he has seen cannot love God whom he has not seen. And every time we look at the image of the Santo Niño, He's telling to us, sincerely, intimately talking to us, that it is an invitation for us. That at times, we demand to be loved. No? Para bang medyo tayo demanding. Ang laktas ng ating tingin sa ating sarili. Pinapaniwalaan natin ang ating kakayahan. At gusto nating mahalin tayo ng tao. Gusto tayong respetohin ng tao. But we did not realize that, no, we don't have the right to tell that. Dahil bago ka nagmahal, may nagmahal sa ating lahat. It is God. And, my dear brothers and sisters, as we are guided by these three pillars of our celebration of these 500 years of Christianity, let us always remember that these are all leading to what we call formation and hopefully transformation. Lahat po ng ginagawa natin ay ito'y patungo lagi sa pagbabago. At sana maging kawangis tayo at maging katulad tayo ng batang Jesus, ang Santo Niño. Let us always remember that you become what you think. You become what you believe. And you live because you believe. And this is what we are celebrating today. Celebrating this great gift of faith through the image of Santo Niño, that we become His disciples, His followers. And especially, we have received the gift of faith inscribed and planted in our hearts. And lastly, the very also challenge to us is that as we celebrate and as we should be transformed in our celebration, let us not remember that at the end of our life, it's all about what we leave as marks and footprints for the younger and the next generations. We are celebrating an old tradition, our Catholic tradition, the devotion to Santo Niño. But more than this tradition is that our faithfulness to handed this tradition to the younger and the next generations. Every day, as we celebrate this Novena, let us always remember these three pillars so that we'll be guided. As we celebrate, may we be transformed. As we celebrate, may we continuously remember that we have to carry out and pass on this wonderful and beautiful tradition, our Catholic tradition, the gift of faith and living the faith among us. Amen.
Please.